The Standout Artist Podcast, showcasing the most unique and innovative musicians of Austin, Texas. Brought to you by entrepreneur and professional drummer Andy Jeffs. Stay tuned and stand out.
Welcome to the Standout Artist Podcast, the show where we interview some of the most unique and innovative musicians of Austin, Texas, and figure out what they do differently to other people. Today I have Bercy on the podcast, who is the bassist of the rock and roll trio Nether Hour, and we're really excited to dive in and pick his brain and see what he's been up to out there in Austin, Texas. How you doing, man?
Oh, fantastic, man. Thanks for having me on the podcast. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. I think I've known you guys as a band pretty much like from the early stages of me being in Austin. It's like a year and a half in right now. I've been to a bunch of your shows, and you guys always bring the fun. Like, you're definitely one of the most fun bands in Austin to see, very entertaining, and I know you've had just a whole kind of wide spectrum of success over the last year.
Oh, yeah, it's been a real blessing.
Absolutely. So I'd love to dive into the story of the band to start off with. Where did this all begin? And what happened in the beginning? Yeah.
So, the story's a little complicated. I would say originally the band started 2018. Me and Bishop had moved here with the band Swamp Brew, who formed around 2016. I can talk about that a little more later. But whenever we moved here, our friend Jerron Marshall, who plays keyboard in the Black Pumas, I was actually roommates with him back in Lafayette, Louisiana, so we had that connection. One of the first people he met whenever he moved over here was Bob, and Bob was playing in a band, Donnie Jules, and we all were all on the same showcase. And the guy who was running the showcase, his name was Judson Green. So I ran into Judson a few weeks later at Yellow Jacket right over here on the east side.
Yeah.
And he said they were looking for a bass player. So I went meet them at their practice spot, and it just started from there. And we started playing a drafting room. I want to say originally it might have been like Thursdays and Friday nights, or Wednesdays and Fridays, but then we ended up playing there at minimum 2 times a week, but probably like 4 times a week, and then we just became a household name over there, and we were playing there all the time.
At Yellow Jacket, this is?
This is at Drafting
Room. Oh, at Drafting
Room. On Rainy Street, yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Oh yeah, I know where that is. Good place for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of fun, and then we started playing different places like Stay Gold and stuff like that. And before COVID was happening, the band was really growing. We were about to have a show at Antone's with Ricky Duran, one of our best friends. But then COVID happened, and whenever COVID happened, all the shows got canceled. It was unfortunate for me because I was finally, before COVID, I was more of a fill-in bass player, so I was playing with everybody kind of around town and stuff, and I finally had enough gigs to quit my job at Counterculture, a little restaurant here on the east side too. And then that happened. So I lost all our gigs and everything. Were you here for COVID?
I was, yeah. I joined about December 2020. Something like that, yeah.
Okay, yeah, so you moved here during COVID?
Yeah, pretty much in the middle of it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So pretty much whenever that happened, it was either, I guess everybody was sick, and nobody knew how big everything was going to be, if everything was going to shut down. And I was even thinking about going back to Louisiana at least for a little bit to see COVID through, and then Bob was like, well, don't do that, if we get shut down, you and Bishop should find a way to be in the same spot and write music, whatever it is. But, so whenever COVID happened, me and Bob, after he'd get off of work, I didn't have a job for the first month. I was living with Ryan Casey. I'm not sure if you know him, a great bass player around town.
Possibly.
Yeah, he plays in Hinchcliffe.
Okay. I know that bassist for sure. Yeah. That's it, yeah.
We go out to the flats every day, and we would just work on songs. Justin was still in the band at the time, so we'd work on our harmonies and stuff. And then eventually I got the idea that it'd be a good idea to get an acoustic bass. But around the same time, Bishop and Bob they were doing a rap duo called Sick Thoughts.
Really?
Yeah. I was just getting out of it. Well, it's pretty funny if you haven't checked it out, man. It's all I would say comedic, like rap songs, and all the songs are pretty funny.
I can imagine it's absolutely hilarious.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Yeah, they were still doing that at that certain point in time, but I had just got out of a long relationship. I guess that was one of the things that might have made the first band not work out so well, Swamp Brew, you know.
Yeah.
But then me and Bishop got real close again during COVID, and at that point he started playing guitar and writing riffs and stuff, and then he started coming out to the flats with me and Bob, and then we all just kind of started writing songs together, and whenever we had the opportunity to, we would jam a lot, you know. One of the funny parts about COVID was nobody could play shows, so all of our friends, you know, like Ricky Duran or Samir, Durrani, or different people would come out and they would all go play their songs down by the river, you know what I mean? And then whenever we had the opportunity to, their lease was running up, and I was pretty much just month to month with Ryan. So then we all moved into the same house, the Nether Hour house, the first one that we just moved out of, down on South Congress. And we were just writing songs there every day. You know, we were all still had our day jobs. But then that kind of became a special little hub for Austin musicians too, at least like all of our friends, because we had one room set up where it was the practice space with the drum set and everything, and the other one was more like the acoustic room. But nobody had any gigs, so like I said, like Ricky would come over, or Mike Braz, or Forrest Kaziu, or Damien. We just, a lot of friends would come over, and they didn't have any other place to play music, so they'd come over, and it was just like a nice hub for music, and people would come paint and stuff, you know, art in general. And then I guess our first show back was January 2nd, 2021. And then from there, we just got the residencies back. We started getting the residencies back at Drafting Room because we were there, but we kind of needed some things that they weren't providing. So then we started playing down at Lodgkey on Sundays and Tuesdays, which we still do. But playing that Drafting Room gig was a blessing because that's where Tony discovered us at.
Right. Tony Hinchcliffe, the comedian, yeah.
Yeah, he was just walking by. And he walks in. I'm not too familiar with comedy or anything. I guess I used to watch Comedy Central whenever I was a kid, but Bishop and Bob were real big into comedy. I would consider myself bigger into it now because I get to meet.
Wait, you're forced.
Because I'd never even been to a comedy show before. Tony had invited me to see him perform at Creek and Cave. And I'm sure it was a pretty good cast too.
Yeah.
But that was a real blessing for us. Tony found us, and then he called over Ron White. So at the first show Tony was at, Ron White was there too. I'm not sure, are you familiar with Ron White?
Yeah, I know Ron White. That sounds familiar. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Since then we've got to meet him too, and we've actually partied at his house before.
That's dope. So was it with Tony? Was it kind of just like, I walked in, saw you, and then it's like, I just, you know, be the after party of my act? Did it kind of happen like very quickly, or did he just kind of keep coming back? And
no. So he just kept coming back because he lived not too far away. I'm not sure the best way to put it. But it wasn't an immediate. Come play my after party. He kind of described it as, or as it's been described to me as, like the biggest thing that people are looking for whenever they're doing something like that is consistency. So it's like he was coming to watch the shows because he's our friend and he's one of our best friends. You know what I mean?
For sure. Yeah.
But also to see if we could stay consistent week in and week out, and week in and week out. You know what I mean? Like which. I'd say we do a pretty good job of being consistent in every show that we do, you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
But then he just got us a table I Killed Tony, and then it became a permanent table, and we still have the table now, and then it was just brought up to us that we should play the Kill Tony after party. And I remember, just a funny little thing, Bishop was like, we kind of like just enjoying our Mondays and having that day off because we're busy all the other days. I was like, dude, this is like a huge opportunity to play the Kill Tony after parties. And then from there, we basically became I don't know, the Kill Tony after party band, or people associate us with Kill Tony, and it's been a real blessing, as I was saying earlier, before we were recording, just to be to have been blessed in that scene, because COVID was real special for. I have a quote on one of the shows like, COVID was a real good time for like comedy and music, but not for the human race, but. During COVID, a lot of the comedians are moving from LA and New York because they couldn't perform over there, and Austin was one of the first places to open up. So that was a real blessing for us and for Tony to find us, because I want to say, as far as this new wave of Austin comedy, we were the first band really introduced to them. I could be wrong about this, but we were basically doing most of the comedy shows around town, or the bigger ones at least, like Tony's. We would get acts to do like Zach Bogus, that wonderful comedian around town, one of our best friends too. We do his shows, or we perform at Creek and Cave, and then we just got real close with all the comedians. Yeah, and yeah, it's been a blessing.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it seems like you were in the right place at the right time, and not only that, you were playing the right show, like you were putting on the good show. So all it takes is the right person at the right time, kind of thing. You became friends with Tony. That obviously leads to all of these opportunities. But like, how do you think making that connection with Tony and getting that spot on his show, like, how do you think that benefited the band, like, the most? Like, what did it really do for you guys?
I think it really. It's kind of cool, being from Louisiana, or being associated with Kill Tony. A lot of people from around the world are watching. So people from back home who watch Kill Tony would message me and tell me congratulations, or they'd see our heads, because our original table was right in front, so you could kind of see us. And I've actually been on the show one time.
Oh, really? Cool.
Yeah, because one of the, I'm not sure if he's a door guy or a bar back. His name is Mason. He works over there, and he ended up getting on the show. And Tony always asks all the guests what their hobbies are, and they usually are like comedy is like, no, tell me what else you do. And this guy's like, I like to take acid and go to the park. And then Tony looks at me in my eye and he's like, let me get Bercy up on the stage. And he just got asking some questions, and we laughed about it and everything. And
nice.
It was cool to be part of that. It's also been cool to be introduced to like Joe Rogan. He's actually come to one of our shows before.
Yeah, absolutely. I heard about that. Like, it was like, maybe just a typical kind of Sunday, like he's not quiet, not like super busy, but then he walks in and there's like just a swarm of people that.
I think kind of my fault, because I didn't know we weren't supposed to tell anybody.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually a Tuesday, and we just played 3 sets, and Tony was like, "Can you guys play one more set? Joe's gonna come," and we were like, fuck it, yeah, we'll do it. Nice. But they didn't tell me I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, so I started telling everybody, and I think they all started calling their friends. And then soon enough, it was like you couldn't walk in there, man.
Really? Wow.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's been real cool. It's been cool to see Joe appreciating some of the other local bands as well, like Ellis Buellard, one of our favorite bands around town, some of our best friends. We're actually going to play with them in Dallas at the end of the month.
Nice. Yeah. He saw them at, like, what was it, Whitehorse around the corner?
Yeah. Him and Connor Stevens are rotating Wednesdays.
Okay.
So sweet. I think their slot is either 8 to 10 or 10 to midnight, but they'll be rotating every week.
Right. So it seems like a big benefit of making this connection for the band. It seems like you just made some really cool friends, as well. Like, I mean, obviously, like, you've got more publicity and more eyes on your music and all of that.
Yeah.
But just making some really valuable friends as well, which I think, especially when you've got these comedian friends as well, and you're like a musician crowd, just kind of creates this really cool vibe, where you're building some kind of movement, some kind of like just community there. I
would say that's probably my favorite part about all this is like moving here. It takes a while to get into everything. The biggest benefit, or the most special thing to me, is seeing different friend groups who wouldn't have necessarily associated with each other in the past, or maybe they would have, you know what I mean? But like people from different cliques, or I don't know what to say it, all coming together on a Sunday or right before Cutthroat on a Tuesday to see us. People who wouldn't normally be hanging out with each other are coming together, different scenes of our friends, whether it's musicians or, you know, just cool people, hairstylists, whatever, or comedians, them all coming together and partying and having a good time together is like one of my favorite parts, you know what I mean?
Huge, man. Yeah, I think that's, if I kind of dig deeper on my own, myself, like why do I want to create music? Like it really is just to like have more of those moments where people are coming together. That's one of the beautiful things about it, right? Like, I mean, the reason why we all work so hard, you know, outside of our passions and hobbies is so we can get those times with our friends where we can, you know, just have that camaraderie, that socializing aspect of life. Like that's what everyone looks forward to, right? So to be able to create that with your music and to kind of see that unravel in front of your eyes, that must be pretty special. Right?
Yeah, it's beautiful, yeah. Or to like be a spot, or to be a band people want to spend a couple of days a week with, you know what I mean? Or that they look forward to come and see us on a Sunday because they know it's going to be a lot of fun. That means a lot, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like I really like the way you guys do your shows, especially at Latchkey, right? Like Latchkey is just the perfect setting, it seems like, because it's less about, like obviously when you go to see live music, you want to see the live music, you want to see some good live music, but it's become not just about the live music, but about the hang as well, like kind of the vibe that you guys bring with your acoustic set. It's just kind of the perfect theme for a hang, you know, so people can tune in and out of the music, you know, go and socialize, talk to people, whatever they want to do. And I don't think many, if I was to pinpoint something about you that is different, like I don't think many bands know how to do that, right? Like usually when you go to see a show, it's about just looking at the band, and that's cool. That is cool. But to be able to do, like, create that kind of setting, that's something that people will keep on coming back to every week, right? Yeah. Which is what you created on a Sunday at that Latchkey.
I will say, as far as the atmosphere you're talking about, I think about this a lot. I've been doing this for, I don't know, 15 years, or since I was like 13, man. I played in, I don't know, actual bands, probably like 10 or 12, and then I've been a fill-in for probably like hundreds of people, man. But I would say the music is the most important thing. But in that aspect, your stage show, having a lot of fun, being high energy all the time, and then the thing like Bishop is real great with is like talking in between and making the little jokes and just having fun, you know what I mean? Bob's pretty good about it too, and if I get drunk enough, I'm good at it, but just keeping the fun flow going, it's like you can play a whole show and just be music and there's no talking in between, but I think what we do very well is the music's great. It's not comedic music, but there's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying like the songs are actually good. The way Bishop flows in between to keep the crowd going and building on that as well, rather than, I'm very thankful that we're a team, you know what I mean? Like we each have our spot in the music, and then I would say like, you know, like having Avery is a blessing as far as like merchandise that, you know, her and Bishop make, but she's there every show, you know, selling, coming up with new ideas for the t-shirts, you know, maybe like last week she did like tattoos or sunglasses, you know what I mean? And then, you know, all the great photographers we have and everything, just each of us having our roles, you know what I mean? Like I make sure that something's posted every day. Avery will make really cool posts, but it's also, well, she'll make cool things for me to post at that certain time, and I'm also grateful for all the photographers, just even people who take like little story videos. I use that sometimes to post, you know what I mean? Then Bishop and Bob are real good about booking and making sure we're getting paid right and letting everybody know what we need to do. And then we also wouldn't be able to do anything we do without Julio. which are you familiar with Julio?
Is he the guy who sometimes does a bit of cajon with you and sound and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah,
Nice,
he does the cajon, percussion. He is a guitar tech, so he'll fix up all our guitars. He's actually building a custom guitar for Bishop right now. I think they're finishing that up right now. He's fixing up my original bass. And let's see, guitar tech. Whenever we were living in our original house, he turned the back room into a recording studio. So our original EP, we might have released 1 or 2 songs off of that, were recorded inside the house, and he did all that. He's also recorded some of the acoustic stuff with just one microphone and there. Also, we just call him Mr. Everything, man, because I believe truly Julio can do anything. You know what I mean?
How did he come a part of the band? Like, were you guys looking for a guy like that, or did he just kind of show up at the perfect place, perfect time?
Back whenever the original version of Nether Hour, which was me, Judson, and Bob were playing down at Drafting Room, we would have the early slot on Fridays. I think it was like 4:30 to 7:30 or something like that, or maybe 5:30 to, I don't know. But right after Cornerstone would play, which was a reggae band in town, led by Akeen, whenever he was in town, but Julio was the drummer. So sometimes I'd hop in and play a couple of songs, but eventually their bass player quit. So I joined their band, and I would play with them every other Friday and every Saturday morning. And I guess this is how I got close with Julio. Great guy, you know. My amps would break, and I bring him to him, and we'd work on them, and he would fix them. Or my bass Rebecca, I took it in, got a plec from him, and straight frets, which is now on South Congress, and they changed out the pickups and everything. But I'm just gonna say this. So Julio runs all the sound, right? Yeah. So nobody would show up to help him set it up. Oh. You know what I mean? Everybody would show up whenever the gig started at noon. You know what I mean? So not to say anything bad about it, you know, anything, but if you have the opportunity to help somebody out, definitely do that. You know what I mean? So I would show up an hour early. You know. If I could, you know what I mean? An hour, 30 minutes early, and help them set up everything. So then I learned how to set up the system. I usually have to go to work after, so I can help them tear it down. But whenever I had the opportunity to, I stay after the shows and make sure that he was taken care of and tore everything down. So I think we built a strong relationship on that, as well as, you know, playing together. And he actually gave me the first opportunity to record my solo stuff whenever I moved over here, because he also had a studio at his house that wasn't being used, and I said, I have some of my solo songs that I'd like to record, but it just wasn't time for them to flourish yet. Maybe sometime in the near future, that's something that I'll do, but that's how that relationship with Julio started. And whenever we moved into the new Nether Hour house, we were, I guess, thinking of different possibilities of recording. And I brought up Julio, and we just got him in the mix, the necessity for him to be there, you know what I mean? Nice, yeah, so kind of just seemed like a perfect fit for what you guys were needing at the time, right? Yeah. Totally. That's cool, man. So what do you think allows you guys to work as a team so well? And it seems like you've also recruited on the right people to support you in your mission as a band. Like, how has that all come together? Has it just kind of been like, oh, the perfect things just keep on showing up, or is there like a leader in the band that kind of keeps everyone together? Or are you all just very responsible? And no, I'd say we all work together very well, but I would say I'm not sure if necessity or the want to make this happen, or like I've said, I probably played with. I played with hundreds of musicians, being a fill-in or like being in different bands, and I feel like everything in life, like you have like a perfect group of guys that are never gonna, the music's never gonna sound as good as it like, this would be an example, like Guns N' Roses, the original lineup, you have Steven Adler, Izzy Stradlin, Duff McKagan, Slash, and Axl Rose, and you take any one of those members out, it changes the dichotomy, you know, whenever Steven Adler left, they still had the four, but then once you lost Izzy, it's like the band kind of started falling apart, you know what I mean? It's like, out of all the people I've ever met or wanted to play music with, like, this is the perfect lineup. You know what I mean? It's like me and Bishop grew up in the same metal scene together. He moved, you know, he moved to Denver, started sending me back songs. I take Adderall. I'd fucking send him back crazy ass bass lines. He moved back, we started that Swamp Group band, and we would practice. If we had one show on a Friday, we would practice Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 3-hour sessions, you know what I mean, with the band. If we got one note wrong, we'd start the whole song over. Yeah. And then we might sit down with GarageBand and mathematically figure out different parts, or make sure that we have these crazy riffs and we write these crazy songs, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And then with the theatrics of the shows, like we dress up or wear face paint or anything, and we knew how to work a show, and we put that time in, you know what I mean? So whenever it came back to this, when we started writing again, it was like, we've already been here before, we've already worked out all these mechanics. And as far as Bob, like moving over here and seeing somebody with the same work ethic and drive as me, as well as the same taste in music, and I mean, we were fucking playing 4 or 5 days a week on Rainy Street or wherever around town, man, and it just kept getting better. And the funny thing about that is our songwriting process was almost the opposite of what me and Bishop's was, where we never sat down and wrote any songs. We were writing songs on the stage, you know what I mean? We were coming up with the parts on the stage, you know what I mean? So we weren't digging that deep. I guess we were pouring out our souls, but it's not like we were sitting down and writing songs. They were just coming up on the stage.
So how does that work then? Writing songs like live in front of an audience on stage?
Yeah.
And then like, do you record the show and then look back at the show and be like, hey, that was good, or you just like, you remember?
We were just playing so much that we just had riffs that we would just play, because we were playing 3-hour sets, you know what I mean? So you have to fill time some way. So
you just remember those riffs that worked.
If nobody's there, you just get to do whatever the fuck you want, because you're not playing to anybody else, playing yourselves. You know what I mean? So we just play new covers, or we'll still do this in Nether Hour, like on a Tuesday if nobody's there. Whenever we start off, we'll work on new songs. We'll make something up on the stage. It's kind of changed a little bit now, where we're just working out some different ideas, but I mean, that's cool. Sometimes we'll just pull out an improv on stage.
But you don't like record it so you can like look back?
Now I'm pretty good about that. Okay. I think I got really good about this during COVID whenever we got to the flats, because whenever we were just getting like shit-faced and jamming and stuff like that, we were coming up with really solid ideas. So anytime something was really good, I'd sit down and record it, and I'm still pretty good about that.
That's good.
Like if we're jamming at the house or something like that and something's really good, I'll say, all right, stop, let me record it. And me and Bob were doing this the other day, where he recorded a guitar riff, he was showing it to me and singing on top of it, but then he came up with another guitar riff, so we took his phone and I was playing the guitar riff on my phone and then recording with his phone, and then he was recording 2 guitar parts and vocals on top of it. So whatever it takes to remember that, because sometimes we have so much shit that we forget that we forget what we wrote, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I think that's a really cool way of writing, and I've actually never heard anyone say that's like a writing process that they've acquired. But I'm just like, if you do that, like, record that shit, man. You probably come up with like your best stuff in the moment on stage, right?
It's kind of funny, and I think about a lot of different ways people write music, you know, and it's whatever gets to the end goal, but it's funny because I used to think like you have to sit down at your computer and first person writes the riff and the other person, but this is just like all old school. Like, it's just like we're gonna write songs. Like, you're sitting there, I'm sitting here.
Yeah.
Well, let's figure out how to fucking write this thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
Which I'm very grateful for phones and recorders and everything, because all this would be lost. You know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah, I mean, there's many ways to go about it, and like you said, it's just whatever gets the song out, right? Just that's awesome, man. So let's talk a little bit about you personally, man. I mean, you said that just for the longest time you were the fill-in bassist, right? And I can relate to that, being a drummer. Like, that's mainly what you're going to be until you find that band, right?
Yeah.
And what was that like for you, being just kind of like the like, there's nothing wrong with being fill-in. I'm just saying, like, you go from that to being in, like, just that one band that you're stoked about, like you're essentially your dream band. Was that always kind of the goal for you, was to find that one band, or were you happy doing what you were doing, playing in like every band? Like, what was it for you?
I think it's different for everybody. If you, it's real hard to find the right people. So,
yeah, I'd be really interested to hear your stories about this, because yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let me just start from the beginning, man. Whenever
I way back.
Yeah. Well, I don't know, I was probably like 13, playing Madden 2005, and this is a pretty funny story. American Idiot was on the soundtrack, and I made it to where that was the only song playing, and immediately I was like, I need to start a band.
Right.
So there's a kid in the neighborhood that played drums, and there's one that played guitar. I don't think they either one could really play, but then I was like, all right, well, I guess I have to be the bass player. So my cousin had a bass, sold it for like $50 to us, this pink bass. He only used it once. It used to be white. He painted it pink, played a talent show. He didn't know how to play bass, so he turned the volume off. But at the end of the talent show, he put it on top of his head, and the whole crowd yelled, you know what I mean? But I started taking lessons, and the guitar teacher's like, you should probably learn how to play guitar, and then you'll eventually be able to play bass. And then I was like, no, I need to start a band right now. So I started a band, Cottage Cheese, and that turned into Shallow End. And I was just writing songs with kids in the neighborhood, whether playing guitar or piano or anything like that. And my parent Paul, I guess it's my mom's parent, we go over to his house and record songs. And then around that time, I guess right before, at the beginning of high school, is whenever, I'm not exactly sure what to call it, like if it's metalcore or different type of hardcore, but just like, like heavy music with breakdowns, like deathcore, the grindcore and everything.
Yeah.
There's a place called the Underground Sea. Okay. So a lot of my high school experience was playing, like football and doing the sports and stuff, but in a bigger way, it was making friends at the Underground Sea, and everybody started their bands, and everybody had the straight hair and everything, and the black clothes, and just a bunch of local bands like the Fight Between Frames or My Doppelganger's Casket, or we'd all go over there on the weekends and watch all the bands. So my first band was Behold the Hour, and then I was in a band, Gunfire at Sundown, which was more like southern, like metal, and then Camp Hero was the band after that, and that was more like a screamo, emo type band, which our like brother band was the band that Bishop was in, called Sharkbait, which had a pretty good amount of success, and they were touring around the country and stuff like that.
Yeah. Nice.
But I guess after that is whenever he left, and I was still in college. I was playing with the same drummer from Camp Hero. Oh, we were in a band after that, Colonies too, which we actually have an EP on Bandcamp, Colonies LA. But we kept playing, and I couldn't really find anybody, and then I went to school for history, so I was thinking about going to law school, but at my last semester,
I don't mean to laugh at that. It's just like you are today.
Yeah, to see where that was going to be.
That's a completely different path, a parallel universe right there. But yeah, go ahead.
Two things happened. My buddy Gabe from high school, he started showing me the music that he was making. And it was like D'Angelo type stuff, except he was playing all the instruments on it and singing everything. And I was like, I didn't even know human beings could do this. And he was like, would you play bass on this? And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it, man. And then the second thing was my buddy Seth Hayes, who lives in Colorado now. he said this guy Larry Moore was looking to put together a gospel band. It was like we're playing in like black churches and stuff like that. It's like black gospel band.
Oh.
And my buddy Gino was playing drums, and then Seth told me about this keyboard player, Jerron Marshall, who plays the Black Pumas now. You know, they're touring the country and everything.
Yeah.
And me and Jerron became like best friends, and we played in that band together. And then we just kind of had a plan to take over the world, man. We started a band, La Fiasco, and we got pretty good in the Lafayette scene, and another band, Random Animals, with Gino. And then Jerron started taking a lot of fill-in gigs and just kind of blowing up in the scene. He was doing solo gigs and stuff as well. And then down in Lafayette, you know, I just wanted to be the best bass player, because Jerron was the best keyboard player and Gino's the best drummer. I'm going to be the best bass player. So I just started filling in and joining all the bands that I possibly could. And down there, it's not like over here. You can probably have a few residencies, but everybody's playing church gigs, because that's like the main gig that you're going to have, you know what I mean? So I started playing in churches and stuff like that. And I really enjoyed it, man. But some of those church gigs were funny. I remember Festival International was like the big festival in Lafayette where bands would come from around the world, and everybody comes back home, and it's just, they shut down downtown, and there's a bunch of bands. I remember partying all night fucking long, waking up the next morning, cracking Adderall, snorting it, and then going to play this church gig. Oh yeah, that shit was nuts, man. But I guess after that band La Fiasco broke up, that's whenever Jerron had moved over here. That's whenever Bishop had moved back, and we started Swamp Brew. And I was still playing in about like 6 bands and filling in for everybody. And I was in this band, the Shakebacks too. But once that kind of zoned in, I just kind of quit everything, like, you know, I'm doing now, and just focused on that band. But then I guess the city was like, there's only so much, not to say it in any type of way, in the kindest way possible, but I felt like there was like a ceiling of what you can reach and what you can do. And I feel like over here in Austin, the possibilities are endless. We can, I don't know, like, not to say it like that, but I feel like if we want to be the best band in the world, we have a lot more possibility over here in Austin, Texas, than you would over there in Lafayette, or to be the best that you could be, you know what I mean? Whenever I moved over here, like I said, we had Swamp Brew going for a little while, and that didn't work out. And then I was playing with Nether Hour, but it wasn't like that was going to be my main thing. I was like, I'm going to play with everybody, because I wanted to be picked up by somebody as a bass player, you know what I mean? And immediately started going on tour and everything. I just wanted to climb the ladder, you know, kind of like Jerron did whenever we moved over here, you know what I mean? And it's a real blessing, but it just really matters what you want to do, because it was real cool playing with everybody, and I met a lot of great friends and everything, but I would say a funny thing about, or at least for me, filling in so much, you, at least for me, question whether you want to be playing in somebody's project for the rest of your life, or whether you want to be the artist. And I have always been the guy, kind of like my main bands were something I was putting forth something a lot in, but I always felt like I was like a sideman in a sense, which you are whenever you're filling in. So at that point in time, I was questioning whether I wanted to be like in somebody's band forever, or if I wanted to showcase my own music and something I was very passionate about. So it started getting to me playing with some bands I felt like I could have been playing or making better music than what I was playing with them, you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah, totally, man. Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of seems like you had the idea of both, right? Like you wanted to be the writer, but you also wanted to do the sideman stuff as well, right? Or
it's still nice. Sometimes I'll pick up gigs with some of my friends. I'm picking up a gig with the band Medicine tonight, and they're a great band. But that's just whenever they're in town. You know what I mean? It's not like something I'll be in, but I'm very happy with the music and very blessed to be in Nether Hour. You know what I mean? Like I found the people I want to be making music with, and we're making music that I like and that we all enjoy together.
Totally. It sounds like you had a pretty enjoyable journey on the way to Nether Hour. I mean, that doesn't sound like, you went through hell. Like you were part of some cool bands and got some cool opportunities, and then eventually you found your perfect band. What would you say to someone that is, maybe still on the grind, they're trying to, get out there, like someone that's looking for their dream band, like what, if there was one thing you could tell them to do that would help them just getting some, like either one good project that they really want or like multiple, like what's the one thing they should do, or maybe like one or three?
I'm not sure if I have any great advice. I would say what I did is just like play with everybody, listen to everybody, and just I don't know, like go out and meet people. And it's not like I said, I've been doing this since I was like 13. I'm 28 now. I can't figure out the math right now, you know what I mean? But it's not like you're gonna find the person right away, but it's like I feel like I can't live without playing music, you know what I mean? Or I feel like I lose purpose without doing what I do, you know what I mean? So I mean, if you feel that way, nothing's really gonna stop you from finding the people that you want to make music with. Totally. And the universe is gonna, grant you that love. If this is really your calling and if that's something that you really want, nothing's really gonna stop you from achieving that or meeting the right people.
Totally, man. It's funny. The reason why I know that like music is for me is because I've tried to quit before, and I literally can't quit. I always come back to it, and I'm gone for like maybe a couple of days, and it's just like, man, if I literally can't quit this thing, then this must be the thing that I'm supposed to be doing, right? So I think I quit quitting because I was like, it doesn't work. I just keep coming back. So
if I don't play long enough, or if I'm not in something,
antsy, right?
I'll find a way to like in pre-COVID Nether Hour, or like what all the different bands I was playing with, like if we weren't writing enough, I bought a MIDI and I would just start making electronic music and singing on top of that. Like nothing's gonna stop me from making stuff. And also with the sideman thing, I just have another interesting story.
Yeah, for sure.
So I started doing, I'm doing like the solo gigs now.
Yeah.
During COVID, like I said, like right before I was about to be a professional bass player, or professional in the sense of living off of playing. But whenever COVID happened, I was still taking gigs, and I was learning like 30 songs for different people.
Okay.
And then I get time to like get to the gig, and then the gig would get canceled because it was COVID. So rather than continuing to fill in for people, I just started learning how to sing and play, because I felt like Nether Hour was my number one. Instead of having to scramble around and people maybe cancel on me on different gigs, my backup gig or my insurance, you know what I mean, in a way would be my solo gigs. So that's whenever I started singing and playing a lot more. But that's also made me a better songwriter. And I have to give it up for Jack with No K, because I was playing gigs with him, and then he was going up to New England for a month, and he's like, hey, I don't want to lose these gigs, would you mind filling in for me on these? And I was like, I never played solo gigs before, but yeah, I'll do it. So then I started playing there twice a week, and then Tommy would literally hit me up sometimes, and I'd play there 5 days a week, you know what I mean? So I kind of had to grow up and learn how to do that pretty fast and write songs in there, and Friends has been a real blessing to me as well, as giving me a place to do that solo act, and also, twice a week, and has allowed me to grow into a solo artist in a sense, and get better talking on the mic and just being comfortable in my own skin. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, man! Way to step up to the challenge. Like, did you not know how to sing at all before COVID? Or like,
I sang, but I never had the balls to do like
a solo
me
thing,
and a
right?
guitar on the stage,
Right.
or I never even played guitar on the stage before I started doing these solo gigs. It's always been me playing bass. You know what I mean?
Right, and then like writing songs, like that was new to you as well, like solo songs kind of thing.
Yeah. Let me think about that. Yeah. Well, I would say over the years I've dabbled. You know what I mean? Or I've always been a songwriter in the sense on the bass. You know what I mean? But as far as sitting down and just writing songs on guitar, I had something more that I needed to express as well. That at the time I felt like maybe I couldn't do in Nether Hour, but now I'm writing songs where I'm singing lyrics in Nether Hour, we're all writing lyrics and stuff. But at that point in time, I just feel like if anything, I have this to fall back on. You know what I mean? Also, I would say Connor Stevens has been a real blessing to me as well, because we would just he'd come over and he would just that dude writes like 2 songs a day. You know what I mean? Or he's always learning something new, writing something new. So he'd just come over and we would take acid and do cocaine and fucking write songs. You know what I mean? And the next day I would wake up and be like, well, I mean, if we're doing this all the time, I'm helping him write songs. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing this at a crazy pace. Let me just start writing songs. You know what I mean? So then I just started writing solo songs. You know what I mean?
That's great, man. I love how you just kind of had that challenge, and that's obviously really helped you kind of grow as a musician. So I think that's really cool, just about you as a musician, man. I mean, you would take a look at you up on stage, it's like, oh, it just looks like a fun guy, fun musician guy that's having fun, looks like a fun hang. But like, you've also got this side of you, it's like, I'm actually a real hustler as well. Like, I work hard and all that. And I think that's really cool, because some people can fall into one category a little bit too much, right? They can be too serious and too hardworky, where it's like, all I do is work, I don't play at all, kind of thing, like too business kind of thing, And then there's people that obviously fall off the wagon, they're just a complete mess, and like,
they just party.
Yeah, they just party. I mean, I love to party, but like, just to have that balance, I think it's perfect for the musician kind of lifestyle, right? Like, you need to be a fun person that's a good hang, that enjoys the social scene.
If you're like a block of wood, nobody's going to want to watch you play in the first place.
Exactly. But then again, if you're too much on that side, then you're not going to get too far, or you're going to get really high and crash real fast.
I would say it is a crazy balance, because I mean, you're up there, you got to be a good time for the crowd. You know what I mean? You guys are selling drinks. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's not really something you can fake, but then it's also like, you got to be able to wake up and do like the business part of it and stuff. And I would say Bishop's real good at that, at being able to like Bob as well, like the silliness and like keeping the vibes up and getting the crowd real into it, and then also being able to be like super business about talking to all the venue owners or the people that are booking us to make sure that we're getting paid right. You know what I mean? Because like a gig that was good to us a year ago is like, it's not the same now, and I'm not really a businessman at all. So like, I don't know how to go about asking, or like saying like, like, we're not gonna play unless we get 10% of our sales. You know what I mean? Like, making sure that these things are in place in order for it to really work out for us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which, I would say Bishop and Bob are a real blessing
for
that, man, because I don't think I have a business bone in my body, man, besides just being a cool dude. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't know how to do any of that, but that's a big part of it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're getting fucked,
Yeah, definitely. You got to know your worth. And I guess being around guys like Tony and stuff like that, like, they're obviously, they've got some kind of entrepreneurial business mindset there. So have they helped you a lot with that, would you say? Like, just kind
of that's Bishop and Bob could probably answer that more, but just being around them makes, I don't know, dude, it's like whenever one of the best comedians in the world likes your music and your band and is telling you, you know what I mean, like we go watch his sets and we see him getting better every single time he's up there. And I'm so stoked, and I tell him after that, and he's like, that's exactly what I see in you guys. You know what I mean? Every time I see you guys, you're getting better and better every single time, and it's like we're just pushing each other to be the best we could possibly be. And this thing is gonna explode. You know what I mean?
Definitely, man.
And
you know, it's been a long time since I've seen you guys do like a full-on live set. Like I've seen a lot of your acoustic sets recently, but I remember you guys played at the Far Out Lounge once. You killed it, man.
Yeah, the Vibing and the Submersibles.
Yeah, that was, dude. I was like, fuck, they killed it. They really fucking murdered it.
That was cool, man.
Absolutely murdered it. But yeah, man, that's dope. Yeah, go ahead.
You know, and I'd say mostly like a latchkey or like if the sun's out, it'd mostly be us with Julio and the Cajon. It's just like I said, like searching all these years for the right people and the right pieces. People always ask if we're gonna get a drummer, and it's like I'm not sure if anybody is going to click as well as the three of us do, man. But I mean, at this point, if we are playing WTF or something, I have a list of like 8 different drummers. So eventually, I think we'll find the right person. It's just like the three of us have so much chemistry and so much history and so much love for each other. It's really just hard to find that fourth person. But I think we have some ideas, and then once we're into our new house, the Nether home, it's right behind Far Out Lounge. Oh,
how is it? Sweet, that's dope.
But we're gonna have a set in the house and everything, and I think we'll try to see if we could find somebody. But if not, I mean, we're playing, and we're blessed to be playing with so many great drummers all the time. As far as Mike Gonzalez, who plays in the Kill Tony House Band, and he plays with Charlie Crockett and Gary Clark Jr. We play with Sean LaSalle, who Sean LaSalle is from Lafayette. Sean St. Germain, who plays in Rickshaw Billy's Broker Patrol, an absolute killer on the drum set. I mean, he sounds amazing, and his band is amazing. If you guys haven't checked them out,
they're great for sure.
I would say Forrest Kaziu. He has his own band, Kaziu. He plays with Ivan and the Submersibles and Side Piece Collective. Me and Bishop moved here with him from Lafayette. We were in a band called Swamp Brew. We have our EP up on Bandcamp. Let me think who else. There's just a lot of great guys out there. Chris Trafton.
Is there anyone that like really wants the gig? Like obviously there's people that want to play with you, but like, is there anyone that has like shown a lot of interest where they're like, I want to be the drummer of Nether Hour? Like, is anyone kind of giving you that impression, sort of thing?
You know, this goes back to like whenever you're living, I mean this with the utmost respect as well, whenever you're living a fill-in lifestyle, you're always gonna want, and it's like it's infectious, and it was to me as well. It's like a drug. You're always gonna want to keep playing with everybody who offers you, or it's different for everybody, but I mean, you're always gonna want I don't know, maybe next best gig or something like that. So a lot of like, we're not looking for, like, me, Bishop, and Bob are 100% dedicated, maybe even more. I don't know if that makes sense. To Nether Hour specifically. We all love the music that we're making, and we couldn't really have somebody who wasn't putting 100% into it. You know what I mean? Like, we need the guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Sure.
Like, you know, you have Zeppelin. Those 4 guys, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got Stones, you got those 5 guys, and
well,
you got
4 now.
4.
Rest in peace, Charlie Watts.
Yeah. Or you mean like, you know, like the Peppers just got back, John Frusciante. It's like the band is that is it.
That's
you know
it.
What I mean?
Yeah. That's
like,
it.
We 3 are in the pictures because we just haven't found the number 4. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
At this point in life, it's like, you know, people might be saying like, I don't know, like, I'm gonna go get married and get a job, or you know what I mean? Or they're gonna be like, we would need somebody who's living the same that we're living. You know what I mean? And
100% dedicated to the craft, right? Yeah.
Yeah, 100% dedicated to the band
Yeah.
and what we're doing and loving the music we're making and loving playing with us every time we're up there. I mean, a band is essentially a relationship, you know what I mean? You gotta want to be there.
Yeah, it's like having 5 girlfriends at the same time.
Yeah.
And everyone's got to get along.
It's like our schedules are totally open to whatever the other one of us like wants, you know what I mean, as far as gigs and everything, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not like I would say I can't play this gig because I'm playing with somebody else. It's like, or I mean, even as far as, I mean, if we go on vacation, that's cool if we let somebody know in advance, but at this point in time, we're like on the rise, so it's like even taking a little vacation is hard, you know what I mean? Just full commitment to what we do, you know what I mean?
Totally. How often do you guys write / practice together?
It's kind of hard to say. Like as far as practice, we haven't really practiced in a while. But I mean, me and Bob being in the same house, I mean, we might play at fucking Lodge-Key, go party, end up back at the house, and then we'll jam all night, you know, with whoever's at the house, and then songs will come up, or anytime me and Bishop are together, or you know, vice versa with them and Bob, you know. There's always songs being written. There's always things being learned. Then we're figuring shit out on stage sometimes, or whenever we're together. As far as writing, you know, there's blocks sometimes, but I mean, it's been a while since we've had a block. But I mean, you sit us in a room together, and we could write you, I don't know, we could write you something pretty fucking good, man. We could write hits. Sometimes we write so much that we forget what we wrote, like I was talking about earlier. But, you know, it's all about recording it, really picking out what you love. I would say Bishop's pretty good about remembering everything he writes. But sometimes me and Bob forget. But, you know, whatever it's the right thing. And it's important to record because you're going to forget. You know what I mean?
That's it, man. 100%. Well, this has been super dope, man. To kind of wrap all this up, what do we have to look forward to with Nether Hour in the upcoming months?
So we were gonna put out an acoustic EP, but we decided to scrap 2 songs and put out 3 singles. So we got all the stems back. We're gonna send them off to a few different people to be mixed and mastered. And then we're gonna work with our good friend Tom, who's been doing. Bob's not necessarily part of it anymore, but what was the Gary Bobby show, and now it's the Gary Falls show. But the guy has been doing all the promos for them, and we're going to work with him on doing at least a music video, or possibly all 3. And we have some really good ideas for what's going to happen with that. I'd say look out, you know, we're always at Latchkey at 3:30 to 6:30 on Sundays, Vulcan about 10 p.m. to 11:30 on Mondays, and then 7 to 10 on Tuesdays. We're going to be hitting the road a little bit with Ellis Bueller. We're going to be with him in Dallas on the 29th. I'd say go follow us on Instagram. It's just at Nether Hour.
Which is NETHER, right? Out here.
Yeah. We were always posting about everything coming up. And I would say, I don't know, don't sleep on us, you know what I mean? We're always a good time, but we just, I don't know. I'm not sure that's cool to say, but we just want to be the best, man. You know what I mean? Like, we're doing a lot of cool stuff, but we're not doing any of the festivals or anything, or, you know, playing arenas or anything. It's like, there's a lot of growth to be done, man. And if anybody knows any way to help us get a little further, we're always welcome for help, man. We just we love what we do, and we love the music that we make, and I'm very blessed to be doing this with people that I love, and I'm blessed every time to be up there on stage giving it everything I've got. I might have had something last week, like flu-like symptoms or something. I thought I was dying on stage.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? But you just gotta push through sometimes, man. I'm not sure if that's like the best thing to do, man, but I love doing this, and I'm glad I'm not a lawyer, or I'm glad I'm not a history teacher.
The world is glad you're not a lawyer.
yeah. And it's always a real blessing to be up there on stage with the people I love playing music with and writing music that we really enjoy, influenced by people that we love, and I don't know, it's just great, and seeing the shows grow more and more every time and getting so much love from everybody. And I've been part of all those bands before, but it's never been anything like this, or I feel like it's something infectious, and we're doing something really special.
Yeah.
And I'm happy, and we're happy that people are enjoying it, you know?
Hell yeah, brother. Yeah, guys, check this band out if you haven't already. They're a good time. You'll go there, and you'll come out a new man, new woman, new person, whatever you like. Yeah, Bercy, thanks for coming on, man. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'm really looking forward to seeing your success in the future. Cheers,
cheers,
man.
baby.
There we go. There we go.